Hello, I am Miss Altapeter and I'm going to read you The Name Jar. I'm going to stop about halfway through the book and I'm going to ask you to write a prediction about what you think is going to happen next. The Name Jar by Yang Suk Choi. Published by Dragonfly Books. Through the school bus window, Unai looked out at the strange buildings and houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day and she was both nervous and excited. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Unai's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. "Your name is inside," she had said. My name? Unai had wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the grooves and ridges of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. "Is that thing for show and tell?" a boy asked Unai, surprising her. Unai looked up and more kids leaned over. "No, it's mine," she answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. "Are you new here? What's your name?" "Unai," said Unai. "Unai?" the girl asked, scrunching up her face. Unai, some kids chanted. No, it's spelled Unhei. It's pronounced un-I. "Ooh, it's ooh, hey," the boy said, like, "You, hey, what about you, hey, you?" Just then the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Unai hurried to get off. "Oh, hey, bye-bye," the kids yelled as she left. Unai felt herself blush. Unai stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. "Aren't you going in?" asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. "You're the new girl, right?" he asked cheerfully. Unai nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. "Here's the new girl," he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mrs. Kokotos, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotos thanked him and greeted Unai. "Please welcome our newest student," she said to the class. She and her family just arrived from Korea last week. Unai smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. "What's your name?" someone shouted. Unai pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet," she told the class, "but I'll let you know in a week." As Mr. Kokoto showed her to her desk, she felt many round and curious eyes on her. "Why doesn't she have a name?" she heard someone whisper. "Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity," a boy replied. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Unai kept thinking about her name. "How was school, Unai?" her mother asked when she walked in. "Did you understand the teacher?" Unai simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and set a red pouch by a photograph of her grandma. "I'm glad you're learning English well," her mother said. "You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean." "I will," replied Unai. But I think I would like my own American name," she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with a surprise. "Why? Unai is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it." "But it's so hard to pronounce," Unai complained. "I don't want to be different from all the American kids." "But you are different, Unai," her mother said. "That's a good thing." Unai just wrinkled her nose. Later that day, Unai and her mother went grocery shopping in their new neighborhood. They passed Fidel's Falafel, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was in both English and Korean. Her mother picked up garbage to make kimchi, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, Unai's favorite, for soup. It made Unai smile. "Just because we've moved to America," her mother said, "doesn't mean we have to stop eating Korean food." At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Unai. "Helping your mother with the shopping?" he asked. Unai nodded. "I'm Mr. Kim. And what is your name?" "Unai," she answered. "Ah, that's a beautiful name," he said. "Doesn't it mean grace?" Unai nodded again. "My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it," she told him. "A graceful name for a graceful girl," Mr. Kim said as he put their groceries into bags. "Welcome to the neighborhood, Unai." That evening, Unai stood in front of the bathroom mirror. "Hi, my name's Amanda." Then she wrinkled her nose. "Hi, my name is Laura." Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right. Nothing felt right. "I don't think American kids will like me," she worried as she began to brush her teeth. Ha ni ma nim id shutsai, she said to the mirror with her mouth full of toothpaste. The next morning when Unai arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Unai took out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname. But she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Unai took out the rest of the paper. Tamala, she read. I got it from a storybook. She was smart and brave. Unai nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday? Yeah, you came here on a Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over Unai's face. Ralph quickly said, well, put more names in it. You can pick whatever you like, or pick them all, and you'll just have the longest name in history. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Unai looked out the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched other kids leave in groups. Hey, a familiar voice called out to her. Unai turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, and you? Don't you have any name? Unai thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block in the ink pad and then stamped it into a piece of paper. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandmother gave it to me. In Korea, I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that's beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Unai said, and then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day the jar got fuller with more names, and Unai read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex. They're my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this. When Unai got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandmother. She opened it quickly. It said, To my Unai, I hope you are enjoying your new school and your new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far we are and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Unai, your grandmother forever. Unai took out her wooden stamp and filled the paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. And that is where I'm going to stop. What I want you to do next is write down, what is your prediction? What do you think is going to happen next? Remember, a prediction is text connections or background knowledge plus your background knowledge equals your prediction. Okay, so try to think, what did we just read that makes you think what's going to happen next? Thank you.